And it's a shame that it's happening to Floyd Mayweather. It's a shame that it's been happening for years to not only athletes, but celebrities or people who are making tons of money because they're not managing their circle. They're not managing their life, you know? And it's your circle that's all important. You must hire people. If you're going to hire people that are going to look out for your money and you're going to trust those people, well, you better check the checker. You know, the checker checks the checker.
End of it, I think he's gotten some bad advice. He's been led into some things that, you know, he didn't necessarily agree to.
He does not have all of his properties. Now, if he means homes that he owns, then okay, sure. But he's also had to sell a lot of those homes to pay back loans that he made against said houses and other assets or liens that were against him with this dude cannot stop lying. He also said, I don't owe anybody anything, or my bills are all paid.
Floyd Mayweather is reportedly facing a $7.3 million tax obligation to the IRS, a situation Oscar de la Hoya has described as disappointing given the immense fortune Mayweather built during his boxing career. De la Hoya believes Mayweather's financial difficulties could be linked to ineffective handling of his wealth and the influence of people within his inner circle, despite the hundreds of millions of dollars he earned over the years.
Absolutely. Look, and it's funny you bring that up because I was thinking about a new segment that I want to come out with, giving advice to fighters or giving advice to athletes who come across a lot of money. And then what do you do with it? Then you have to hire people, you have to hire lawyers, you have to hire agents. So now you have all these people around you, right? And sometimes, and most likely, you hire people that eventually turn.
De la Hoya also argues that Mayweather needed to be more selective about the people closest to him, particularly those involved in handling his finances. Managing a fortune of that size requires a high level of caution, and placing trust in the wrong individuals can create serious consequences. In De La Hoya's view, Floyd would have been better served by building a dependable team of financial experts and advisors who could safeguard his wealth and oversee his money with greater responsibility.
If I'm going to hire somebody who's going to look out for my finances, I've had my finance guy for 25 years, the same guy. And there's a reason for that, because somebody else is checking him and somebody else is checking that other guy. So you have to be smart.
Dana White and Floyd Mayweather have previously been involved in business together. While discussing Mayweather's reported financial difficulties, White showed compassion and indicated that assistance could potentially be possible. White explained that watching someone work extremely hard to build substantial wealth, only to later lose it or have it taken away, is deeply unfortunate. He noted that situations like this are fairly common among professional athletes. According to White, the outcome is uncertain, and there could still be an opportunity to find a way to help Mayweather if circumstances allowed at the same time. Steven Espinoza responded to reports claiming that Showtime still owes Mayweather around $340 million. He raised the possibility that Mayweather's financial problems could partly stem from receiving ineffective or misguided financial advice.
You know, Floyd had a great career. He made a lot of money. But in his mind, that made him a great genius, great business genius, great genius in life. And because he overrated life, he ran out of money. You can't, no matter how much money you have, you can't have 2 big planes, 10 security guards. It's going to cost you money. I mean, so again, I'm really sad to see that happen, but hopefully he'll get out of it. Hopefully
Espinoza further states that had he personally been part of the legal dispute, he would have made every effort to support Mayweather. His long-standing work with Floyd during their time at Showtime gave him extensive insight into Mayweather's career, his business activities, and the circumstances connected to the case.
What was going through your mind? Did you immediately call Floyd or what?
I didn't, because it's, at that point, I you sort of assume like he knows what's going on, like this doesn't happen in his name without him knowing about it.
Yes.
So no, like I didn't think that there was a whole lot of point like saying, hey, what is this?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, it speaks for itself. All right, that's what we're doing now. Okay, that's what we're doing. So
Right, so do you think that Floyd realized, okay, I'm missing money, I owe money, where's my money at? And he just had to sue everyone involved? Or someone is telling him, I think it was Showtime, or I think it was this person, your former manager, your former this.
I think they're two different situations. Like everyone sort of saw the two lawsuits and say, okay, they're the same thing. I think someone told him you should sue Showtime.
The situation becomes even more complicated with a report from On-Site Media on X claiming that Manny Pacquiao's promotional executive has filed an $8.30 million lawsuit against Floyd Mayweather's former manager, alleging fraud and theft. The accusation brings additional attention to Mayweather's previous business relationships and the financial conflicts involving individuals from his professional circle. Wade Plemons also responds to Mayweather's comments about his financial position by raising questions about how well Floyd has managed his fortune beyond boxing. Plemons notes that Mayweather's reputation for rarely losing made gamblers willing to place extremely large sums of money on him. In his view, there is an interesting contradiction. Some bettors appeared willing to put substantial portions of their own wealth behind Floyd's success, while Floyd may not have been equally cautious with his own finances. Plemons ultimately argues that Mayweather's strongest financial achievements have come through his boxing career, rather than through ventures outside the sport.
It's the end of May.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it's due mid-June.
Right.
You know, and then you send your money in, and then they don't report it back to us till July.
Right.
So all of a sudden, at the earliest that we see it is a couple months later. But then there's also, there's sort of middlemen in between that this guy has to report to this company because, for example, if you've got Comcast or Charter or some of these, there's local systems that report to the main company, and then the main company reports to Showtime. Gotcha. So there's sort of delays along the line. And it's a crazy system because it wasn't unusual that 6 months, 12 months down the road, like all of a sudden we'd get a big check from DirecTV or satellite company just because money was delayed and they just...
Plemons argues that Mayweather has not shown the same degree of achievement when it comes to business ventures or building financial success away from boxing. However, he makes clear that he does not necessarily view this as a negative judgment, since the ring is where Floyd has consistently proven himself to be exceptional. Plemons also points to the confidence Mayweather inspired among gamblers. Because Floyd was widely regarded as an extremely dependable winner for much of his career, bettors were willing to put substantial amounts of money on him even when the potential profit was comparatively modest. The broader point, according to Plemons, is the contrast between Mayweather's remarkable talent for earning huge amounts through boxing and the questions that have since emerged about how effectively those earnings were handled after they were made.
He's also been accused in lawsuits of failing to pay for millions of dollars worth of luxury items, including watches and high-end jewelry, allegations he has disputed. Well, not just allegations anymore. He's being charged with 2 felonies for not paying for, or at least writing a bad check for, a watch in Vegas as well. So on all fronts here, Floyd Mayweather is flat out lying, saying, well, my properties are paid for. Again, if he's talking about his houses, sure, your houses are still there, even though, again, he sold 2 houses in Beverly Hills and in Miami to pay 2 of his real estate partners. So why lie about it when we have the proof? It's there. Why? I don't understand. Floyd used to be able, and this, by the way, shout out to Spencer Cornelia because he hit this right on the head. He nailed this. Pause. He said that Floyd will do this where he will create a narrative, and because he is a massive superstar, his words are taken as truth. When in reality, we now have the truth. The burden of truth is on Floyd to show.
Floyd Mayweather has continued to reject suggestions that he is struggling financially, insisting that his obligations are still being managed. In a recent statement, he explained that he continues to own all of his homes and that the financial needs of his family are still being covered. During an interview, Mayweather also stressed that none of his properties had been taken from him and that both his relatives and employees continue to receive their payments. He pointed to the continued ownership of his real estate and the fact that his family and business commitments remain funded as signs that his finances are still under control.
There's more probability that they get that money back and some than Floyd pulling out equity in his home to take out a loan to try to pay somebody back, or using his home as collateral to take out a loan to then not pay the person back. That's the most true thing about Floyd Mayweather's entire career. He is the best boxer of this current day and age, and it's the one thing he's done better than anything ever. In business, anything. He has not run any successful business. He has not made any more money than when he is in that squared circle. Point blank, period. And that's not a bad thing. That's just what he's best at. But Floyd Money Mayweather, the only time that money comes into play is when he's...
Mayweather's remarks reflect his continued confidence in his financial position. By pointing to his ongoing ability to maintain his properties and meet his responsibilities, he makes it clear that he rejects the notion that he is dealing with a major financial crisis.
So a lot of people are saying you're doing this just cause of the money. Is it just cause money, or just what you want to do?
Well, as you know, I mean, nobody has taken none of my properties away from me.
Right. So did you want one more question? I'm gonna let you finish.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the paper.
No.
Let's go back to the paper.
Right.
You know, I was thinking about something, right?
Yep. You doing better than brain.
And a lot of times, hold on, let me film it.
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out.
Yep.
Now, when you really think about this, right? Mm-hmm. We got our people, meaning the black community.
Yep.
These people have been paying money for years to come see me fight.
Yep.
These people will pull equity out of their house, bet their life savings, and they bet it on Floyd because I proved that I'm 100% when I get in that ring.
The IRS tax lien reportedly gives the government the ability to pursue Mayweather's property until the outstanding tax obligation is settled. This is also not the first time Floyd has encountered problems involving federal taxes. Reports indicate that he previously faced a lien of roughly $22.5 million related to his 2015 taxes, along with another lien of approximately $7.2 million connected to his 2010 tax obligations. The latest development has renewed questions about Mayweather's financial position, particularly given the enormous amount of money he earned during his Hall of Fame boxing career, which has been estimated at around $1.15 billion, that according to a tweet by late April 2026, the IRS had informed Floyd Mayweather Jr. that his U.S. passport could be revoked because of more than $7.25 million in allegedly unpaid federal taxes from 2018 and 2023. The report also claimed that the IRS placed a lien against him in Las Vegas the previous month, giving the government the legal ability to pursue assets in order to recover the debt. Cam Newton has also discussed Mayweather's approach to money, questioning how a fighter who generated such massive career earnings could reportedly encounter financial difficulties. Newton draws attention to Floyd's famously extravagant lifestyle, including high-end fashion, luxury purchases, vehicles, jewelry, travel, and various business interests, that he also references reports that Mayweather has spent as much as $500,000 in a single day. Newton argues that spending at that level could raise legitimate questions about whether such an expensive lifestyle can remain financially sustainable over the long term.
Mayweather, every time, because they believe in me, right? And they rooting because they want to see me win. And then after they go home and they got everything they want, they praying on my downfall.
Facts.
They praying on my downfall. So, yeah, we don't want to see Floyd with nothing.
Right.
And so, I mean, and in due time, you know, a lot of times they say, oh, it's this lawsuit, it's that lawsuit. Mm-hmm. One thing about me, whoever I get involved with, as far as with business, I get myself out of the situation.
Okay.
You know, one thing we're not going to do is go out there and go point fingers. Oh, this person got me in that. As a man, you know, if me and you doing...
Newton clarifies that his remarks are not intended as an attack on Mayweather. He still regards Floyd as one of the outstanding fighters of his era and uses the situation to highlight a broader financial lesson for professional athletes. According to Newton, athletes who earn exceptionally large incomes should have a practical strategy for managing that money. He stresses that making substantial amounts quickly does not mean those earnings need to disappear just as quickly. Newton believes financial planning should remain a priority even when an athlete is at the height of their career. In his view, people can enjoy the benefits of their success without abandoning financial discipline. Wealth, he argues, should ultimately create lasting stability and security rather than lead to a cycle of constant and uncontrolled spending.
From Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather, it don't matter who he identified himself to be. My question comes as I look at his career, I don't want to talk about the earnings because that's not something that I want to point out. I don't even want to talk about the splurging because he gave off this lifestyle that was not realistic for a lot of people to obtain.
Yes.
My question is, why hasn't he ever aligned with a brand? Or let's flip it. Why hasn't a brand ever aligned with him? I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So when you think about boxing,
Okay.
names that come to fruition come to mention is Oscar De La Hoya.
Yep.
Oscar De La Hoya is the face or the owner, creator, CEO of Golden Boy Promotions. Well, Mayweather Promotions, not a lot of people have aligned with that. You got Devin Haney that has spoke bitter.
Mayweather's extravagant way of living is another factor keeping attention focused on his financial situation. Throughout his career, Floyd has become closely associated with high-end spending, including luxury goods, costly shopping, expensive vehicles, jewelry, private transportation, and other premium purchases. His public persona has frequently emphasized displaying wealth, with reports suggesting that enormous sums have sometimes been spent over very short periods. Irving points out that significant fortunes can decline surprisingly quickly when spending consistently remains at an extremely high level. Despite the extraordinary income Mayweather accumulated through boxing, sustaining that kind of lifestyle still demands careful planning and responsible financial management. Individual luxury purchases may appear relatively insignificant when someone has access to hundreds of millions of dollars, but the combined impact of repeated high-value spending can become substantial over the years. Irving's comments, therefore, offer another angle on the financial questions surrounding Mayweather. His argument is that generating tremendous wealth through a successful career does not automatically prevent financial pressure. If expensive habits continue unchecked and maintaining an extravagant lifestyle remains a priority, even a very large fortune can face increasing strain.
It was, speculative that he had $500,000 a day splurges.
Yeah.
Is that sustainable? He had multiple business ventures that failed. He had the lifestyle with multiple women and different things like, bro, I get it. But dang, and let this be a message to all athletes. And I'm not trying to rag on Floyd because I still have so much respect for Floyd. Every time I see Floyd, it's like, he one of the ones.
Yeah.
Because contrary to whatever it is, he's still a great fighter. But yet, we gotta do better with our money.
Yeah.
How? We have to put ourselves on a realistic longevity plan that even though you got the money fast, you can't keep spending it fast.
But who do you trust? How do you trust when, and I'm not saying his background, but if you're not used to money, don't have money in our community, who do you trust? How do you trust? How do you go about finding somebody to put you on a budget to do that? Because
for many people, the idea that Floyd Mayweather could be entirely out of money is still difficult to believe. Even if he were experiencing major financial problems, the meaning of broke in Floyd's situation would likely be very different from what it means to the average person. Mayweather earned enormous sums during his boxing career, accumulated valuable real estate, and built a substantial financial legacy. Because of that history, losing a large percentage of his wealth would not necessarily mean being left with nothing. Financial hardship can take many forms. Someone who once controlled an extraordinary fortune can lose a considerable amount and still retain assets and resources that would represent tremendous wealth to most people.
How on God's green earth could this man be broke?
His lifestyle. I've been around like hanging out for days, weeks. It's the lifestyle. Like when you got a 40-man entourage, You got other people, and you take everybody out, pay for everything, shopping, the mall, going out to eat, renting out an entire movie theater. Yeah, just to go watch a movie at whatever time he wanted. It was like the theater was closed when we got rolled up to the movie theater, and you know, you got the girls and all. Yeah, and you rent out a whole movie theater for 40, 50 plus people. I bet that bill can rack up a little bit. I don't know if he's broke. I think you'd have to tell me, like, what is broke? He don't have zero.
That brings us to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for what's coming next. Until then, take care.